This right here is a car that I've been trying to get my hands on for months. I absolutely adore the Honda E. Before I even knew anything about it, I just absolutely adored it. And it does seem to have such a big cult following just because of its cute styles and its quirky interior. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Honda E in a little bit more detail, talking about the different range options, power outputs, and we're also going to take it to GridServe to give it a charge as well to see how easy that is. So if that sounds good, then make sure you stick around. If you're new to my channel and you like new car reviews, please think about sticking around. Hit that subscribe button. I upload every Saturday at 10 AM and I might even upload on a Wednesday at 6 PM as well if you're lucky. Okay, let's get into the rest of the video. Looks are subjective, but who couldn't love that cute little face that the Honda E has? Those front round lights just have so much emotion in them, and it really does look like a little Disney robot. I absolutely adore it. But it's also pretty sleek and stylish as well. There's no denying that this is a futuristic looking car. You've got the blacked out front grille, and you've also got this glass part on the top which highlights the car's charging port. Now I feel like I've got an extra connection to this car because actually it reminds me a lot of my first car, which was a blue Volkswagen Lupo, and it's got all the same things I loved about that car. It's quirky, it's compact, and just makes you smile. This car goes completely against anything I said about electric cars. I said that I like them to look like standard cars and I don't like them to have hubcap style wheels, and then here we are with the Honda E, which is incredibly electric looking and has hubcap style wheels. But despite that, I still absolutely love it and I think it suits the style of the car so much. Perhaps it is because they remind me so much of my old car. I had some upgraded black style hubcaps. But still, it really suits it and it looks great without looking cheap. The car has been made to look like a 3-door, but it does actually have 2 rear doors, which is something that the Mini Electric doesn't have. So at least that means you can open the rear doors without having to open the front. Once inside, you do sit up quite high, similar like in the Mazda, because you are sitting on the batteries. But despite this, I've still got a reasonable amount of headroom. I'm 5'5" and I've got enough space, but you wouldn't really want to be much taller than I am. I've got quite a lot of knee space, however, and it is super comfortable back here. Another nice design element is these slightly wider wheel arches, which are reminiscent of the 1970s Honda Civic. Coming round to the rear of the car, and it pretty much mirrors the front. It gets the same round style, cute headlights, and you've also got that black gloss tailgate that strips all the way across. In the Honda's boot is where its compact size becomes a little less forgiving, as there's actually less space in the Honda E boot than you'll find in the Mini Electric or the Seat Me Electric. With the rear seats upright, you're limited to a mere 171 litres of boot space. You can blame the electric motor for this, as it's located directly underneath the boot floor. While there's enough room for some shopping bags or a couple of small carry-ons, it's a little disappointing, especially when Volkswagen Group's small rivals like the E-Up have around 80 litres of more space. The interior of the Honda E is every bit as charming and intriguing as the exterior. The light materials and eco-feel make the cabin feel light and airy. This is also helped by the glass sunroof that's standard. Everywhere you look there are screens. The Honda E boasts 6 digital screens, 1 digital instrument cluster in front of the steering wheel, 2 infotainment screens, 2 camera door mirrors and the pièce de résistance, the switchable rearview mirror to digital camera. Technology is designed to be the soul of this car and it's absolutely jam-packed. The 2 infotainment screens are fully customisable and can be switched to display various options. This was a real benefit for myself as I could run my music via Apple CarPlay and still display the sat-nav at the same time. It's also helpful that it will display direction shortcuts on the digital instrument cluster in front of you, even when you're running Apple Maps. There are whole videos dedicated to technology which I recommend watching if you're intrigued, as I've only scratched the surface in one day that I had the Honda E. The Honda E is claimed to have 137 miles. However, I picked up this car with 95% battery and it was showing 83 miles, which, doing the maths, that doesn't quite work out. But of course, the reason it does that is because it goes by your driving and it calculates it based on how you're driving the car. So I can imagine that when the lovely gentleman from Marshall Group was dropping off the Honda E, he was kind of pushing it to its limits, and that's why it's showing that type of range. I can imagine that once the nana that is me has been driving it, we're gonna start to regain some, or at least I hope we are. I'm pretty sure in the past I've been known to air my grievances about camera wing mirrors because I didn't particularly like them in the Audi e-tron. I mainly don't like them because they kind of like stick out and they're a little bit ugly. But I also didn't think that anything could be better than a mirror, surely. However, the Honda E wing mirrors are amazing. If you're a people watcher like me, when you sit in traffic, you can almost completely see the person behind you like really clearly, which is good fun, especially when this car draws so much attention because you can kind of catch people glancing back at it, which I really like. I've gotten really used to the left-hand wing mirror. That pretty much in my brain just feels like a wing mirror. This one on the right, it's a little bit strangely positioned, of course, because of space, but it's kind of a little bit obstructed by my steering wheel, and it just feels, my brain hasn't worked out it's a mirror yet because it's kind of not in the place where I would usually expect a mirror to be. Gotten really used to the left one. I'm sure it won't take long for the right. The Honda E comes in two different power outputs. You've got an 134 brake horsepower engine and an 152 brake horsepower engine. And these both get 232 pound-feet of torque and a range of 137 miles. However, the Honda E isn't the quickest little thing, and it's got a 0 to 62 time of 9 seconds, or if you go for the higher output, 8.3 seconds. The Honda E handles very similar to the Mini Electric, which doesn't really surprise me. They're both a similar size and they both have the batteries low down, which gives them a really good centre of gravity. Surprisingly though, the Mini Electric actually has a much quicker 0 to 60 time, but the Honda E doesn't feel any less nippy than that car. It still feels really quick and agile. It's probably just when it gets over that 30 miles per hour, it then starts to slow down, perhaps a little quicker than the Mini. The Honda E might have been designed as a city car, but my God is it fun on these rural Suffolk roads. Its dinky size just means that you can kind of go reasonably fast without having to worry too much about the road becoming too narrow, and the handling is just so sharp, and because of that low centre of gravity it grips on the road and you can really push it quite hard. The Honda E is surprisingly comfortable for a car that's been designed predominantly for urban life. These seats are comfortable enough, they're a little bit firm. They're nowhere near as nice as the seats that you get in the Citroen C3 or the EC4. However, they are nicely bolstered and they hold you in the seats when you're going around corners. The only thing that concerns me is you wouldn't want to be much bigger, because I kind of fit perfectly in the middle here. But if I was any larger, I think the bolsters would almost dig into your back. I'm not too sure, but I think that could be a small issue. But overall, it's really comfortable on the road. So I've just pulled up to GridServe, and the good news is that the Honda E accepts 50 kilowatt charging and it will take only 30 minutes to get a full charge. So we've got 50 miles of range left, 53%. So we're only really going to take us hopefully about 15 minutes, which is just enough time to have a wee, grab a drink from Costa, and even connect your digital devices to the Honda E's screens to watch Netflix or even play video games. The charging port is hidden underneath a glass panel, which is released with the click of a key. Charging at a forecourt like this is simple as getting fuel. Simply connect up, tap your card and go. A Type 2 cable comes as standard, and a full top-up from an at-home wall box will take around 9 hours and 15 minutes. You also get a 3-prong charger for drip feeding in emergencies, but a full charge does take a whopping 15 hours, which seems excessive for a small battery car. What I can say about that range capability is I bet Honda sighed a massive sigh of relief when they released the Mini Electric, because that has a similar range capability of around 140 miles. Had they not have released the Mini Electric, then this car would have been going up against the Vauxhall Corsa, the Renault Zoe, and most recently the Fiat 500. And all of those have a range of 200 miles plus, and that would make this car look like a really naff offering. But just like the Mini Electric, I've got over the range kind of really quickly because this car is so much fun. It's a lot more fun than the Vauxhall Corsa and cars like that, which seem to be very, very practical. This is a lot of fun. It handles really sharply, it's really responsive. This is a second car. This is a car that you take out on the weekend when you're not going very far. You want to whiz around the town, kind of have everyone look at you and talk about your car. I think that's where the Honda E sits. And when you look at it like that, I jump at the chance to own a car like this. The Honda E comes standard with all the safety equipment you should need, and those include things like your autonomous braking with your anti-collision, you've got your blind spot monitoring, your lane departure warning. The only problem with all of these systems is sometimes they can be a little bit intrusive. So even if you're just going to take over somebody and you slightly go over the white line, then it's going to let you know about it. But to be honest, I'd always rather have these systems and them be a little bit irritating at times if it means it's going to keep you super safe. Driving this car today has really shown me that it makes a huge difference depending on how you drive and where you drive the Honda E. So my journey from Cambridge to Braintree, I started on 90% and I ended up with around 45%. But I went back roads on the way there and I didn't use any of my amenities. I didn't have any of the heating or the air conditioning on. On the way back, from Braintree to Cambridge, I decided to go the motorway route and I've had my heating on. And then I've gone from 80% to just 20%. So that's made a real difference just between those different driving styles. Even if you love the looks, aren't fussed about the practicality and can live with a small range between charges, there's still something that might put you off. The price. It does cost more than a lot of entry-level cars, including cars like the Renault Zoe and the Vauxhall Corsa E, which both boast a bigger range. The standard car will set you back $28,215 and $30,715 for the advanced version, before any discount. As it slips below £35,000, that does mean it's eligible for £2,500 electric car government grant. PCP finance deals are also relatively competitive, no doubt helped by the fact that the Honda E is predicted to depreciate slowly. I'm so pleased that I finally got my hands on the Honda E, and it definitely hasn't disappointed. Yes, I know that range is small, but as a second car, this is so much fun, and I haven't been able to wipe the smile off of my face ever since I got it. A huge thank you to Marshall Motor Group for dropping me the Honda E in Cambridge so that I could have a drive. If you've got any questions or queries or want to know which Honda E's are in stock, then make sure you click the link in the description box and they'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching this video today. If you've enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a massive thumbs up. And if you want to see more reviews like the Honda E Electric, then click the subscribe button. Until next time guys, bye!